Texas Badlands, dusk. A vast stretch of dead prairie. Burned-out fences, scorched cabins, and blackened soil as far as the eye can see. Ash drifts in the wind like gray snow. Out of the haze emerges a woman. Clara Whitlock, 28. Her dress is torn, her feet bare. Every step is survival. Her hair sticks to her cheeks with sweat and dust. Her face is cracked with sun and grief. She stops, listens. Only the wind answers. Clara pulls a small satchel tighter across her shoulder and keeps walking. Creek bank, night. Clara kneels and drinks from muddy water, her hands shaking. She gulps like a starving animal, coughing between swallows. A sharp rustle from the underbrush. She freezes. A low, eerie howl echoes across the flatlands. Clara pulls a rusty hunting knife from her belt. Her fingers tremble. She scans the treeline. A pair of yellow eyes flicker in the dark. A coyote stares, then vanishes. 3 half-charred apples dangle from a blackened tree. Clara climbs it, slips once, but grabs a branch and hoists herself up. She yanks down 2 apples and eats without pause, swallowing seeds, skin, and all. Suddenly, a rattle. She jerks around. A rattlesnake, thick and coiled, lies under the roots. Clara backs away, breathing hard. She hurls a rock. The snake slithers off. She collapses to the base of the tree, tears welling. Her breathing slows. Her head droops. Her fingers dig weakly into the dirt. Scrubland ridge. Late afternoon. She stumbles. Skin sunburnt. Eyes glazed. The landscape blurs. Clara, horse. Ruth, please. One more step. Then, she collapses. Face first. Scrubland ridge. Moments later, a figure on horseback crests the ridge. Jesse Colton, 22, lean and dust-covered, reins in his mare. His coat hangs loosely on his frame. A Colt pistol rests on his hip. Sharp eyes scan the still body. He dismounts, approaches Clara slowly, rifle still in hand, kneels beside her. Jesse, still breathing, he gently turns her over. Her lips are blistered, her breath shallow. He looks around, cautious. Then, without a word, he lifts her into his arms. Abandoned ranger outpost, night. Fire crackles in the hearth. A pot steams on a spit. Clara lies on a makeshift cot, made from hay and canvas. She stirs. Her eyes flutter open to flickering light. She sees a silhouette crouched by the fire. Jesse turns. His face is lined with dust and sunburn. A faint scar across his left cheek. His expression unreadable. Clara whispering, "Where?" Jesse, "You dropped by the ridge. I pulled you in." She tries to sit. Winces. Jesse offers a ladle of warm water. She drinks, cautiously. Clara, "I didn't ask you to save me." Jesse, "Didn't ask for thanks." Outpost. Later that night. Wind howls outside. Coyotes yip in the distance. Jesse stokes the fire, keeping one eye on the door, rifle across his knees. Clara shivers, eyes closed, fevered. He dips a cloth in a tin cup, lays it on her forehead. She mumbles incoherently, tossing. Her hand reaches for something unseen. Clara, delirious. "James, don't go, the smoke." Jesse watches, quiet, then places another log on the fire. He returns to the fire. The air between them is heavy. Outpost, early morning. Clara awakens. Her skin is clammy, but her eyes are clear. The fire still burns low. Sunlight peeks through the slats in the wood. She turns. Jesse sits slumped by the door, hat over his eyes, rifle across his lap. Fast asleep. She stares at him. A long beat. Her expression softens, confusion, suspicion, and something else. She lies back slowly. Outpost. Later that day. Jesse pours a tin of black coffee. Clara, wrapped in a moth-eaten blanket, leans against the post of the porch. He hands her the cup. She sips slowly. Clara, You a soldier? Jesse. Was. Clara. Which side? Jesse. Didn't matter by the end. Clara. Deserter? He looks at her, doesn't answer. She takes another sip. Clara, quietly. He was Union. My husband. Marched at Shiloh. Died at Chickamauga. Beat. They said it was honorable. All I saw was a burned cart and half a dog tag. Jesse lowers his eyes. Silent again. Clara. I buried him with my own hands. Then I walked west. To herself. Still walking, I guess. Jesse. What's west? Clara. My sister. Ruth. If her place still stands. She finishes the coffee. Wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. Clara. Suinteed. I can go alone. Jesse. Didn't say you couldn't. She looks him over. Young, calm, unreadable. Clara. Why'd you help me? He doesn't answer right away. Jesse. You were lying in the dirt. I didn't want to find you dead when I could still carry you. Outpost, dusk. Jesse packs supplies into saddlebags. Dried jerky. Canteens. A few rounds of ammo. Clara laces her boots. Her hands are steadier now. Clara. What's your name? Jesse. Jesse Colton. She stands, stretches her sore limbs. Clara. Clara Whitlock. A pause. Jesse. Pleased to meet you, Clara. Clara. Don't say that yet. I haven't stopped blaming strangers. Trailhead sunset. Two horses graze beside the trail. Jesse helps Clara onto the larger one. He climbs behind her, reins in hand. Clara. You sure about this? Jesse. I'm already riding. Might as well share the road. Clara. It's not a safe one. Jesse softly. None of them are. They ride out as the sun dips behind the hills. Ridge above the outpost. Moments later. They pause on the ridge. The outpost behind them. Just a smudge in the valley below. Clara turns back once. Just once. Then they ride on into the gathering dusk. Dirt trail morning. Hooves crunch soft earth. Jesse rides with Clara seated behind him on the horse. The wind tugs at her hair, but she keeps her face turned away from his shoulder. She holds the saddle horn tightly. Her body is stiff. Jesse, you don't have to hold your breath the whole way. Clara, I'm not. Jesse, then it's just the silence trying to choke us. A beat. Clara exhales. Finally, her posture eases slightly to high ridge later. The horse crests a ridge overlooking a burned valley town. Blackened rooftops, broken wagons, blood-stained dust. Clara stares. Clara, what happened down there? Jesse quiet. Blue coats. Took everything but the crows. He turns the horse away from the town, guiding them down a lesser trail. Woodland path, afternoon. Jesse leads the horse on foot now, reins in hand. Clara walks beside him. Clara, you never said why you left the fight. Jesse, didn't have to say anything. My boots just turned. Clara, people will call you coward. Jesse, let him. I sleep better knowing I stopped killing boys who barely knew how to shave. She studies him. Clara, my husband thought dying for a cause would give him purpose. Jesse, and did it? Clara, a whisper. All it gave him was a wooden marker with no name. Ghost town evening. They approach an abandoned town. Just a single broken sign reading Birch Crossing. Shuttered windows. Rusted lanterns swinging from crooked posts. Clara, looks empty. Jesse, it is. But the wrong kind of people still pass through. They dismount and lead the horse through the center of town. Two figures step from a collapsed saloon. Confederate deserters, bearded, sun-worn, rifles in hand. One grins. Bandit number 1, Jeb. Evenin', strangers. Not many folk with clean skin pass through here. Jesse nods. We're just moving through. Bandit number 2. Don't recall asking what you were doing. The first man's eyes linger on Clara. Jeb. Wait a minute. I seen you before. He squints. Jeb. Suinteed. Whitlock. That your name? Clara tenses. Clara. Was. Jeb. Yeah. Your husband owed us. Cards, whiskey, maybe a wagon. Never paid. Jesse steps forward, subtly resting his hand near his belt. Jesse. She's not part of anything he did. Jeb. Oh, she's part now. He reaches for his gun. Jesse's eyes flick toward Clara. A quick, subtle nod toward his bedroll. She understands. Moves discreetly, under the old railway trestle. Moments later, gunfire cracks through the air. Bang. Bang. Jesse spins, dropping one of the deserters with a clean shot to the chest. The second fires. Clara dives, fumbles into Jesse's saddle roll, grabs a revolver. Her hands shake, but she pulls the trigger. Crack. The bandit spins, wounded in the shoulder. He runs off, yelping into the trees. Woods outside ghost town night. A fire crackles. They're far from the town now. Safe. Clara sits, arms wrapped around herself. Jesse tends to the fire. Clara, quietly. I didn't think I could do it. Jesse. Neither did he. She stares at her hands. Clara. I never held a gun till today. Jesse. You didn't freeze. She nods slowly. A long beat. Clara, softly. When James died, no one came for his body. I found him 2 days after. The crows already had him. Jesse sits down across from her. Clara. Suinteed. I dug his grave with a dinner spoon. Ground was hard. My fingers bled. She looks into the flames. Clara. Suinteed. I didn't cry. Not then. Not even at the end. Tears suddenly spill. Clara. Choking. But now it won't stop. It just won't stop. Jesse doesn't move. Just lets her feel it. She sobs quietly into the blanket. Campsite. Later that night. The fire's low now. Clara sleeps near the embers, eyes swollen but calm. Jesse sits with a small piece of carved wood in his hands, a tiny, imperfect horse figurine. He hesitates, then walks over and places it beside her gently. Campsite dawn. Birdsong. Clara wakes and sees the carved horse. Picks it up. Smiles faintly. Jesse is crouched nearby, digging a small hole beneath a pine tree. Clara, approaching. What are you doing? He stands, dusting his hands. Jesse, you said you carried something you weren't sure you should. She slowly removes her wedding ring from her neck chain. Looks at it in the morning light. Clara, he was a good man, but he's gone. She hands it to Jesse. Clara, softly. Let him go for me. Jesse places the ring gently in the hole, covers it with earth. Clara. Suinteed. Thank you. Jesse. We bury what we must. We carry what we need. They stand together in silence, the wind shifting through the trees. Then they walk back to the horse. Time to ride. Wild hills. Dusk. The sky bruises with thunderclouds. Rain threatens on the horizon. Clara and Jesse ride slow through wind-bent grass. Ahead, a small stone chapel, roof half-collapsed, crucifix dangling from rusted nails. Clara, softly. We stopping. Jesse. Shelter's shelter. Abandoned chapel, night. Candlelight flickers. The chapel is skeletal. Pews broken, altar scorched. Rain leaks through cracks in the roof. Clara and Jesse work quietly together, patching holes with tarp, nailing a shutter shut. Clara. Not exactly holy ground. Jesse. Maybe holy's just what survives. A long silence as they sit on the floor near the altar. Jesse leans his head back. Thunder growls. Jesse quietly. There was a boy. Drummer for the Rebs. Barely 15. Clara looks at him. Jesse, Suinteed. He saw me. Reached for a pistol. Too slow. Beat. I shot him anyway. His voice shakes. Jesse, Suinteed. He didn't cry. Just looked at me like I'd stolen something sacred. Clara places her hand over his. Clara, you didn't come back from that war, Jesse. You were dragged out of it. Jesse, haven't had a full night's sleep since. Outside, a branch snaps. They freeze. Jesse moves to the shattered window. Torchlights glow beyond the trees. Chapel night. 5 men creep up the slope, guns drawn. The wounded bandit from Birch Crossing leads them, flanked by bounty hunters in long coats. Faces hard. Bandit, OS. That's him. Jesse Colton. Deserted near Sabine Pass. Woman's with him too. Int. Chapel same. Jesse checks his revolver. Loads his last bullet. Jesse, there's more than I can take. You go out the back. I'll draw them off. Clara. No. Jesse. Clara. Clara, firm. I didn't walk through hell to leave the one soul who stayed when I broke. We finish this together. Their eyes lock. The rain begins. EXT Chapel. Storm breaks. The bounty hunters move closer. Suddenly, gunfire. Jesse bursts from the door, firing. One man drops. Another returns fire. Jesse takes a shot to the arm and tumbles back inside. Int. Chapel continuous. Clara pulls him behind a pew, blood soaking his sleeve. A man bursts through the door. Clara grabs a splintered crossbeam, stabs him through the gut. He crashes to the floor. Flash of lightning. Thunder cracks. Rain pours. EXT. Chapel Yard minutes later. 2 remaining bounty hunters retreat into the trees, dragging the wounded bandit with them. Only the rain remains. Int. Chapel, early morning. Jesse lies against a pew, arm wrapped in cloth. Clara kneels beside him, dabbing his brow. Jesse, hoarse. Did we win? Clara, smirking. We're breathing. So, I guess that counts. They sit in silence. Light breaks through the clouds, a thin shaft falling onto the altar. Jesse removes his hat, his eyes wet. Jesse, world ain't never gonna be safe. Beat. But I figure, I'd rather face it with you. He reaches for her hand. Jesse, so indeed, might not have a preacher, but I got truth in my heart. Softly, will you take me anyway? Clara's throat tightens. Clara whispers, I already have. They tie their hands together with a strip of her shawl, knotted at the wrist like a quiet vow. Rain taps the roof. Chapel, later that morning. Jesse, arm in a sling, helps Clara onto the horse. He climbs up behind her, wraps his good arm around her waist. They look back at the chapel once, the place where ruin gave way to something new, then ride into the green hills, toward the uncertain west. Clara, I lost everything once. Thought I'd never trust again. But out here, where the war took all it could, I found something that couldn't be burned. A boy with a quiet soul and hands that built something new. Moral of the story. Even in a world scarred by war, grief, and betrayal, love can still take root. Redemption isn't always loud. Sometimes it's found in silence, in kindness, in choosing to stay when running is easier. Trust, once shattered, can be rebuilt. Not through grand gestures, but through shared burdens, quiet courage, and the decision to walk beside someone in their brokenness.